This conference will now be recorded.
Niamat to our friends.
Niamat.
Come on, you can hear me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा हय्युल क़य्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा या मौला मेहरबान मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मदद फरमा अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमल नसीर हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमल नसीर हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमल नसीर या मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मदद फरमा या अली मदद to all friends. Ali Madad. So we are going to study our book Ascent of Soul and we are going to review proof number 6, correct? And the chapter Mirage of Soul. Jasmine Saiba is reading. Ji Jasmine.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The book we're reading is Ascent of Soul, chapter Mirage of Soul, proof number 6, page 8 on our ebook. Proof number 6. In verses 51 through chapter 51, verses 20 through 21, the Holy Quran says, there are signs of the power of God in the earth for those who are sure in faith and within your souls. Do you not then see? It should be known that the signs of God in the earth are scattered in material form, whereas they are united spiritually in the human souls. Now, the perfect man who observes with his inner eye those signs of God which are hidden and united within himself does not need to go anywhere. Thus the Holy Prophet had observed the signs of the universe and the existence within himself on the occasion of his spiritual mirage.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Though the translation of these verses 51 chapter 20 and 21 is given, but there is a tawil within that. So let us read from the Quran. The translation of chapter 51, which is Surah Zariyat, verse 20 says, and on the earth are signs for the certain. Verse 21 says, and in yourselves. Then will you not see? The question is being asked. And Allama Sahib in this paragraph, the way he has translated it says, there are signs of the power of God in the earth for those who are sure in faith and within your souls. Do you not then see? Now, when we are looking at this verse, the first word, which is sign, in Arabic it is ayat. The word sign has very many tawilat. One of the tawil of sign or ayat is actually Imam himself. Here we are taking it as nishaniya, as signs. Signs of what? Of the power of God. And interestingly, it says in the earth for those who are sure in faith, pakke imani, and within your souls. So I hope that friends here do know the allegory, the parable, or the uh, of the word earth. The tawil is a moment. A moment who is firm in his faith, a moment who is sure of his faith, will see the signs, meaning he will see the power of God. Where? Outside in the universe, the macrocosm, and within yourselves, within your souls, which is microcosm. So remember, this verse reminds us of the verse which we've been studying, 41 by 53, which talks about signs in universe and within ourselves. This verse, the way it is focusing on the earth for those who are sure in faith and within your souls, it is actually talking about, alluding to the personal world, the world which is within us, the macrocosm. But the question is being asked, do you not then see? Now tell me, if I ask you, do you see your personal world? Majority will say, no, we don't. How do we see our personal world? Which world do you talk about? And we've been trying to understand this world. What is this world? This world is the world of imagination. This world exists within us. With knowledge, when we have the power of imagination, we can realize in the light of knowledge, having this world of imagination, realize this world which exists within ourselves. Though it says within your souls, we don't see the soul. Soul is subtle, we cannot see. So how do we see that? It is through the power of imagination. The way Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah says, Tum khayal karo. Now, how can we do khayal if we don't even know that there is a whole world encompassed within it? In our soul, there is a whole world encompassed within it. How do we see that world? And very interestingly, to make the situation more complicated for us, our peer said to us, Atma Ram Tame Bada Gnani, meaning that all the knowledge which we seek of the past, present, or future, the proper term, Azal or Abd, pre-eternity and post-eternity. Whatever we seek, it is actually within our soul. And that soul within itself is a world which we call it personal world. In order to be able to realize that personal world, we do first need knowledge. With the help of knowledge, we will have this khayal, this reflection which Imam wants us to have. Imam says that for 2 hours we need to reflect. How are we going to reflect if we do not have the knowledge? So first and the most important step is to seek knowledge. With the help of knowledge, we will be able to have this imagination. Now, let us just imagine this verse. When it says there are signs, nishaniyan hai Khuda ke power ki nishaniyan in the earth. Now, we do see this earth as universe, our planet, and we can take the examples, and we did take last time the example of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, how he was seeing the stars, which are the allegory for dyes, and then moon, which is allegory for peace. All these are alluding to the world of religion. Sun being the example of Imam, sun being the center of the universe, without sun, the world cannot last. Similarly, Imam being the sun, the world of religion cannot last without Imam. All these signs which we see in the physical world helps us to see the world of religion. Because we are humans and we are in physical body and we have our physical senses, we have to use all what we have to be able to enter into this subtle world and to recognize all the sublime realities, which are very hard to comprehend. That is why Allah is asking us, do you not see then? It is a dawat, it is an invitation. If you don't see, come and see. Now, how do I see, Mola? It is for us actually. Who? Who is it for? For the earth, for those who are sure in faith. Those mu'mineen who become willingly mustajib. Those mu'mineen who are willing to give their time. Those mu'mineen who are willing to keep the world aside and sacrifice their fun, their other interests aside to seek this knowledge. When they seek this knowledge, they are able to become that earth who are sure in faith, who are sure in faith. Iman pakka hai. Then only they are able to see within their souls. Very interestingly, when we talk of Iman, and we might meet people, take the example of our parents or grandparents, they were very strong in their Iman. Though it was blind faith, they did not have knowledge. If we were to ask them, they may not be able to answer our questions. But their Iman was really, really firm. Iman, the way we pray for our Iman, that Mawla, keep our Iman firm till the last breath. Why? Because there is a danger attached to our faith. There is a danger that until the time when we die, and if there is one, bad thought which comes in our mind, a doubt which comes in our mind, that is it. Our Iman is gone. The firmness of Iman also comes from knowledge, because Iman is from certainty. Certainty comes through knowledge. So with knowledge, when we look at this verse, actually this verse, which is in relationship to the marriage of Prophet Muhammad, this marriage actually happened while he was in his bed. It was his dream. How do we believe in the dream that he had seen these heavens and met all the prophets when we do not even have the world of imagination? We cannot even imagine that this can happen. So what we do? We have different stories, different versions of these stories, and we listen to or we read stories. But those stories are so illogical. It does not make sense. In today's time, today's children, they are so smart. If you tell them these stories, they'll laugh at us because it doesn't make sense. What does it require? It requires us to seek knowledge to understand what is the logic behind these stories. We identify all the illogical parts and find logic to seek the knowledge which is hidden behind these stories. So in the context of Miraj, we are studying this verse, and it says that there are signs which are within ourselves, but it is only visible or evident in those who are firm in faith. Meaning, the science has been given to everybody. Allah is just, but because there is a veil of the physical body, there is a veil of lack of knowledge. Nobody can go beyond that. So in order to be able to remove that veil, to be able to see the subtle world, first we need to seek knowledge. And when we seek knowledge, we realize the first step is, with all these conditions we've been talking about, right? Zikr, ibadat, ilm, amal, we have to have the power of imagination. And this power of imagination helps us see this earth, which is fertile earth, meaning there is water and there is earth, soil mixed. That earth is fertile earth, meaning there is probability that when there are seeds being put into that ground, there will be some growth. Meaning these mu'minins have faith in them. When they have the faith in them, they are the ones who are able to see within their souls. And in reality, that is what Prophet Muhammad did. Remember, when we talk of this world of imagination, it is the beginning step. It is one world. The second world is world of dreams. And then the third world is world of spirituality. For the beginners, it is world of imagination and that is it. But when we talk of our prophet who was chosen, who was Barguzida, who was favorite of Allah, for him, All these worlds which we are, when we are learning, we are separating it so clearly, world of imagination, world of dreams. But for him, it was all one and the same. When he was asked, does he not rest? Because, when we study the concept of riyazat and ibadat all the time, 24 hours, him being our prophet, someone asked him, do you not sleep? Do you not rest if you continue to do ibadat? He says, my eyes rest, but my heart is always awake. How did that happen? It happens when the world of dreams, world of spirituality, world of imagination all connects and becomes one. Meaning, there is no sleep in that world. There is always awakeness. As soon as the physical eyes are shut, there is a walking started in the world of dreams, world of spirituality. And we all are, as the reader of this book, as the reader of this Quranic verse, we are actually invited to enter into that world of imagination, which exists nowhere else within ourselves. And then it says, it should be known that the signs of God in the earth are scattered in material form. Yes, remember, there's this universe existing. There are signs which are in the material world, in the material form, whereas they are united spiritually in the human souls. Can we imagine the power of human souls? Have we realized, have we ever reflected that whatever we see in this physical world, in reality, it is all encompassed within the human soul? But the difference, remember the difference. Now, the perfect man who observes with his inner eyes those signs of God which are hidden and united within himself does not need to go anywhere. Meaning, Prophet did not go anywhere. Prophet was in his bed and he woke up on his bed. He did not travel to seven heavens. There was no horse as per se coming to pick him up, having wings. These are stories. These are parables. These are allegories. Means nothing if we don't have the ta'wil. Otherwise, it is a, afsana. It's just a story, fictional story, right? That these things happened. But in reality, no, it did not happen. These examples were used by Prophet to help those who were learning at that time, who were listening to him at that time, to tell them these stories so they can have some conceptual, imagination in their mind. It is all about giving them the world of imagination. Why? To motivate them that you can also go beyond these realms, enter into that subtle world and see things what you need to see. So remember, when we talk of ourselves, the world within ourselves is called munjamid. It's sleeping. There's a Quranic verse, chapter 48, verse 14, if I'm not wrong. Al-arwahu junudum mujannada. All the souls are in the frozen state. Al-arwahu junudum mujannada. This is the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. There's a similar verse which is in chapter 48. وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. That all the souls from the samawat, from the heavens and the earth are, they belong to Allah. This is chapter 48. And there's a hadith by Prophet Muhammad which is Al-arwahu junudu mujannada. He used to pray this and saying, meaning that all the souls are frozen, meaning that seeking, teaching actually, that these frozen souls would wake up. So when they are awake, we can see what is inside, what is within ourselves, this whole world which is within us. Thank you. It is chapter 48, verse 4. وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. So when perfect man is able to see with his inner eye all these signs which are hidden and united within himself. So very interestingly, when we look at these sentences carefully, critically, what is being told to us that when we look at the earth, all these signs are scattered and in material form. Whereas when we compare or we know or learn about the perfect man, which is the Imam of the time, Insan Kamil is the Imam. In his world, all these signs are hidden and they are united. Totally opposite to us. Now, why this opposite situation? Aren't we with Imam? Aren't we in the bayat of Imam? Aren't we his children? Does he not want us to elevate? Why this totally opposite situation? The totally opposite situation is due to this. وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ samawati walars. That we also have this world within us, the world of souls, alame arwah, the world of particles, or you call it alame zar. There are so many different terms meaning the same thing, but the state they are in is frozen. When they are in a frozen state, we would see only through our physical senses. We will only see outside ourselves. All the signs for us are scattered and they are in a physical form. But those momine saliki, in this context, we are studying about the marriage of our Prophet. Our Prophet also step by step elevated himself to get to that level where he was chosen as Prophet of Allah. He became at that time Insan Kamil, the perfect man. And he was able to see with his inner eyes whatever there is which is hidden from our eyes. And it was all one. Now, when we live in this world, we have differences, we have different shapes and sizes and bodies and whatnot. We are in the world of multiplicity. But when we talk of the perfect man, when they look at us, they see all souls being united from one origin, going to return to that origin, the world of oneness. We are not able to see that. Let's see what does it say here further. That the most important thing that Insan Kamil does not need to go anywhere. If they want to have Miraj or they want to have Lika, Didar of Allah, they want to travel to different universe, different country, anywhere. They do not need to do that travel physically because they would travel spiritually. Thus, the Holy Prophet had observed the signs of the universe and the existence within himself on the occasion of his spiritual marriage. All these signs he had seen within himself. So in today's time, where do we have to go? Where do we have to run? Nowhere actually. Be peaceful, be calm. Realize that when you have these talimat, these books to read, to reread, to reread, and reflect and reflect and reflect, and apply. Read these Quranic verses again and again, which you have understood. Read this paragraph again and again, and think and seek from Allah. Allah, give me the world of imagination. Let me see how did it all happen. Are we able to relate it? And we talked about it that how the horse was actually Ismail Azam. So in the physical world, we may see a horse, but in reality, it is our own Ismail Azam. Have we ever thought when we sit in Ibadat, did we reflect that this word, which is Ya Ali, can it be that powerful that I can right now travel to the heavens? And this heavens, where all the prophets, all the Natiks are there, Mawla Ali is there, and I can have this Didar. I can see what had happened in the Azal, or what had happened in the Abd. All that will be visible to me. Is it possible? આત્મારામ તમે બડા જ્ઞાની પણ તારી વિગત કેણ ન જાણી. Pir have told us, spirits have told us that everything is within ourselves, but we have never valued, never honored what we need to really truly honor. So what we did, we took it for granted. When we took it for granted, the spirituality has remained distant from us. We have become very physical. Physical logic, physical things, physical argument, physical criticism, everything is physical. When and how we are going to look into our batin? When we read these books, what is the objective? What is the purpose? The purpose is that we bring our focus, take our focus within ourselves, become that calm, that peace, and see within ourselves. How is my heart, my soul acting within me? How is it behaving? Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah says in his Farman that તમે તપાસો કે તમારો રૂહ કેવી રીતે ચાલે છે. That how your soul is walking, if I literally translate it. But what he's saying that when we look into ourselves, what are my thoughts? What are my emotions? Where am I going? What are my reactions? What are my impulses? How am I living my life day to day? And those who are not present, those who are not able to look within themselves, for them, hours will pass, days will pass, and they will not know what did they do. People will not be able to recall what did they eat yesterday. Why? Because they were not present when they were eating. It was happening in complete anxiety, completely living in the thoughts of doing this and doing that, not being present. When we read these books, it should bring us peace. It should bring us calmness. It should bring us joy. That everything is within ourselves. We do not need to run and seek outside. What we need to do is to calm our thoughts, our mind, connect it to Isma Azam, and read this knowledge during the daytime. When we reflect and read, due to that peace in our heart and calmness, we will be able to read in between the lines. In reality, these verses are actually keys. They are kulya, they are universals. If we understand these keys, anywhere we see in the physical world or we reflect within ourselves, we will be able to open the doors because these are keys. And keys can unlock any door. These kulyas are applicable to any point in time. We can easily today are applying it to Prophet Muhammad's time and able to see his journey and realize that how when he woke up, he told about his marriage to his companions, telling this story, and that story has been transmitted for years and years, and that's how we are hearing it. And there are so many different versions of it. Different scholars in the books of Tafsir, they write it differently. But who did anybody get the essence that what had happened? Yes, there were select few who really knew what had happened. How come that select few only knew the essence and others only continue to transmit this story from generation to generation to generation? And today, 1400 years after, if you pick up any books of Tafasir, you will find this story of him flying on a horse. Where is the Tawil? Where is the essence? This is the blessed Jamaat, Ismaili Jamaat, who comes to know about the Tawil. Not only about the Tawil, but to know that these are keys. And if we truly understand the keys, keep it in our heart and put it in any lock, it should open up all the doors, the world of imagination. We will be able to unlock it and see all the secrets, all the realities and recognitions. We will be able to witness the subtle world. We will be able to see it through our inner eyes. For that, we do need to meet those conditions. Because when we are what we are talking about, it is world of purity. It is being realized, it is being recognized intellectually, spiritually, and physically when we have purity of our thoughts. If we are still impure in any means, any ways, these world will remain far from us. We will not be able to see it. We may listen to knowledge classes one after the other and after the other, and we continue to feel this, oh, I don't know, I don't understand, why do I not get it? That calmness will never come. And that is why it is so important that when we do zikr during the daytime, do limit it. If you cannot do thousands, do 40, but be completely with it present. Make it quality zikr. If you do that, then when you sit in ibadat, it will 100% help you. And then when you study, it will 100% help you. Otherwise, you are running here, running there, and inside, there's only anxiety, feeling of not knowing, not being enough, not doing enough. That is not the state of mind of a Mu'min Salik. Mu'min Salik is peaceful. Mu'min Salik is seeker. Mu'min Salik closes his eyes and enjoys the world of imagination. Physically, they do not need to go anywhere. The world of happiness comes to them. The world of happiness comes to them. They do not seek happiness. How does that marjiza happen? And the way I just shared with you that this was the zikr, Prophet used to do this zikr, al-arwahu junudum mujannada, that all these souls are frozen. In other words, he was saying, he was seeking, he was praying that help these souls come out of this frozen state, become alive, wake up. The way peace says, जाग जाग मन तू काहे को सोता है, उठ जाग मन मेरा तू काहे को सोता है. All these ginans, these talimat is actually teaching us one thing. Become peaceful, calm, present, and go into your own inner world, because everything is present in the inner world. In today's time, we are blessed with the worldly knowledge. With the worldly knowledge, we are able to read, write, reflect, think, logically find out things. What do we need to do now? We have the right books in our hand. We have to read and reflect with zikr ibadat, with our Isma Azam ibadat, Giri Azari. All these keys, if we truly grasp firmly, believe me, spirituality is not far from us. It is not difficult. Whatever is being taught to us by our peers, our pagambars, our imams, they are not making our task difficult. There is no deceit in it. There is no intentional hard work given to us. Yes, there is striving which is needed. There is definitely testing to find out who are worthy. It is very important. Worth is very important. Now, worth not in terms of the way we would see in the physical world, we talk of self-esteem or self-confidence. No, we are not talking about that. This worth is very hidden. This worth is actually the worth of our iman, the worth of our taqwa, our ethics, how honest, sincere we are within ourselves, how our thoughts are pure. If we have this purity in our heart, we will be able to see the inner world. We will be able to become present. Today, if you pick up any self-help book, any Bhagat, Sadhu, or anybody, they will talk about being present and doing meditation and extra, etc. People will go after that. Our people will go after that. अरे अपनी knowledge तो पहले पढ़ लो. Why do you have to go out? Do you not see that this talimat has been already given to us? We get so impressed and mesmerized. Why is it happening? Because we are living life not being present. And that's why the world of reflection is away from us. All this is to happily identify these keys, realize in our being, to be able to literally, to be able to see the mirage of Pagambar. At the level of Ilmul Yaqeen, we can do that. We can do that. Why not? So let me stop here. I saw something, question appearing. Naveen Sahaba?
Actually, the question is Al-Arwahu Junudun Mujannada, like what is the translation of it?
So I don't have exact translation, but I can tell you the word al-arwa is all the souls, junudum mujannada, that they are in the state of being frozen. We'll have to look for the exact meaning, but this is what roughly it means. This is the hadith. He used to pray. This is a saying of Prophet Muhammad, but he used to say this as a zikr. Al-arwahu junudum mujannada, al-arwahu junudum mujannada. He had explained or said this hadith in context of 48 by 4, which says walillahi junudu samawati wal ars, that all the souls of Allah, all these souls, army of the souls of Allah, walillahi junudu, in between the heavens and the earth, all these souls belong to Allah. And what we just studied, that these there are signs in the heavens and the earth, right? There are signs on the earth. So which earth we are talking about? This earth. And if all these souls between heavens and the earth belong to Allah, but if they are in a frozen state, meaning that we cannot take benefit out of it. And when we realize our own being as a universe, meaning we are talking about not outside universe, we are talking about the universe which is inside us. What is the state of those souls? Are they awake or they are sleeping? So that is what it is about. So we will have to help friends with that, Naveen Sahaba, if you can. The translation and the pronunciation, I do remember Naveen Sahaba has recorded this zikr, and we can share with this group of friends and they can learn to, if you like to, and do the zikr. By the way, I recall now that in the last class, when I was talking about Yare Badiul Jamal, in my mind, I did say that it is a hadith of the Prophet, which is incorrect. The hadith of the Prophet is Inna Allaha Jamilun Yuhibbul Jamal, which means the same thing, Yare Badiul Jamal. Inna Allaha Jamilun, Allah is beautiful. Yuhibbul Jamal, He loves the beauty. And I was referring to this kalam, actually, in my mind, it is one and the both thing. Yare Badiul Jamal, that my beloved is so handsome, so beautiful. And Prophet, when he had seen the didar of the Noor, this is the hadith. Again, this hadith is a zikr. He used to say this zikr. When he would be in the joy and happiness, he would sing this. In Allaha Jamilun Yuhibbul Jamal. In Allaha Jamilun Yuhibbul Jamal. So I'm glad that I remember that the last time I didn't clearly distinguish and told you that Yare Badiul Jamal is the kalam which we understood and we sang, but the hadith which I was referring to is different. And all these hadiths actually are available online, but we can ask very humbly, respectfully Naveen Sahaba to help us and post these hadiths on the group so they can benefit from that. Ji.
Inshallah. I think Amina Saiba has actually posted souls are like conscripted soldiers, those whom they recognize, they get along with, and those whom they do not recognize will not get along with. I'm not sure what is the source of it, so do share the source, inshallah, and we can definitely look at that. Friends, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can post it in the chat. Ji Shafina Saiba. We cannot hear you, Shafina. Okay, so while Shafina Saiba is thinking about it, I was thinking when you were talking about different hadiths and different in relation to Ginan and all of that, it is amazing that how we have been taught these things in so many different ways, and the stories, the way you've said, without the, if it's not logical, but we have always, as a young age, we have always believed, and all of these things, when we used to hear it, we somehow believed that it all happened. And then now when we hear all of the tawilat, it makes me feel like I don't know where we were when we were listening to those stories and believing it. And now the reality comes in. It's just amazing that how, as we grow older in our worldly lives, the knowledge comes to us, how important it is the secular education and how important it is to receive that true knowledge with the tawil. Otherwise, we consistently believe, somehow continue to believe on these stories. So, it just amazed me. That's what I wanted to share.
So, beautiful reflection. So stories are powerful tool of teaching. Remember that. And when children are young, the way to teach them is through stories. So yes, we believed stories, and it was a good thing. It was a right thing. And when we grow up, of course, when we ask questions, because logically it doesn't make sense, and then if we get the knowledge, then alhamdulillah, those stories die down, and our iman, which was at blind faith, comes at the level of knowledge of certainty, and that is needed as well. So what you are saying, which I would like us to think, reflect, because it's all about reflection, that when Prophet Muhammad had his Miraj, to some he told this story. What does that tell us? And to others, select few, he told them that he went through Qiyamah. It depends on the age. What age? Not physical age. Ilmi age. How the talimat are given. That is why in this journey of knowledge, it is so important that we learn step by step. So we truly are able to internalize these concepts. Otherwise, if a teacher, if a scholar gives us very high level of things in the first beginning, we will be very impressed by them. We will be very impressed. But what did we learn? That's what matters. So that is why it is so important that we learn in this journey step by step, and we become practically sincere, true moment on the journey. Because this is a spiritual journey. This is not a physical education or physical learning only. Yes, we are in the knowledge classes, but the objective of these classes is that we become very practical in our lives and applying these knowledge, so we are able to see these signs within our personal world. Otherwise, what is the benefit of giving so much of time, yours and ours, right? We all are there for a reason. So, having said that, what are we saying? That our zikr, our ibadat, our amal, taqwa is very, very important. We never have to let go of that. Ghibat, gossip, uh, judgment, all those are, we want to keep ourselves very protected of it. Ji.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. I just remembered by Yazid Bustami. I think before he was passing, somebody asked him, "What is your age?" And at the age of 70, he said, "I am 4 years old because I only got rid of my veils 4 years ago." So it is beautiful. Thank you. Shafina Saba, I know you just unmuted. Do you want to try again? We still can't hear you. So thank you, friends. Thank you, Niamat Saba, for a wonderful session. Thank you so much, friends. Inshallah, we'll see you. Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali
Thank
Madad.
you
Thank
so
you,
much.
friends. Ya Ali
Yeah,
Madad.
yeah, Limata.
يا لمداد
Ya Ali Madad.
يا لمداد
Ya Ali Madad. Ya Ali Madad.